Yeah, it's what's been really nice about it is just you have a complete sale now. Certainly the arena speaks for itself with all the video boards and scoreboard, and then having the Little John Legends and student sections right there near the court. I think that's all really exciting. But then, as important as anything, is the Swan Pavilion, the back house of our facility, where recruits can see a fantastic player lounge, video room that's as good as anywhere. And certainly a player locker room, and just an area where our guys feel comfortable, where they can spend time, when they're not in practice, or stay after practice and have time to kind of hang out and lounge around and make Little John and the Swan Pavilion feel a little bit like their home.
How much do you think the renovations, having the students on the sideline right on top of the court, will affect the intimidation factor? And how much of a
well, I don't know if it's. I don't know that there'll be a huge intimidation factor change. I think Little John, even in the past when it was packed, was a great home court. That was never the issue. It was never when there was a full crowd in there. It's always been a great home court environment. We expect that to continue. I think what's super about the new Little John and the Swan Pavilion is the pride that you see when people come see it, how impressed they are with just the commitment level made by Clemson for a new basketball operations center, if you will, in the back house. And then the arena, the fan experience is going to be much better for everyone. I know that's what Dan was really after when with the Little John aspect of the renovation, was to increase the fan experience, to make it a better one, and I think that's certainly going to be the case.
Do you feel like this has a chance to be your most complete team, potentially?
I think we have more offensive firepower than we've ever had. We have more guys that can score consistently. I think the challenge is, again, getting this team to defend at a really high level. Oftentimes when you have, offensive-minded players, they maybe don't like to defend as much as some other guys. There are other guys that maybe aren't as talented offensively that hang their hat defensively on how they want to play and physically impose their will on some people in games. Rod Hall was an example of that. But this team has more talent offensively, more firepower to score. When we get Elijah Thomas healthy and back at the end of December, the front court depth will then be there to say that we have enough depth to play with most people in the ACC.
Speaking of Elijah, do you know which game he'll be?
I don't know yet. No, there's still some logistics going into all that.
In talking to the assistant coaches, I asked Mike, I said, what are the coaches' goals? We know what fans want. And he seemed to put like a big emphasis on non-conference this time around.
Yeah, we want to get off to a better start. There's, for whatever reason, we've struggled a little bit in non-conference play. Haven't played up to par. Sometimes it's been, juggling lineups or, figuring out ways that we can play better. Last year certainly was one of those seasons where we beat a lot of the teams that we kind of were favored in, but we never got over the hump on some games like at Minnesota that we needed to win and let a game get away from us. We didn't play well at Georgia. We've got to play better in the non-conference right from the start. Hopefully, the excitement and enthusiasm with our home court, and we'll draw more people to Little John, in November and December, and make it a difficult place to play. And then when we go on the road, hopefully our guys will, with the experience of having an older group, will play better on the road as well.
With Sharon, beyond the points, rebounds, and the accolades and all that, maybe it's more in the NBA and college where you've got a dude, you got a star that just makes everybody around him better. Can he have that impact?
Oh, I think he can. I think, it's important in this league, and it's a real challenge to have guys that, that command respect, and a little bit of an alpha male figure that lead your team through some adversity, that give other guys confidence. We know if we need to get a basket, we can go to this guy, and if he can't score or gets double teamed, that he's going to get the ball out and we're going to get an easier shot because of it. I think that's significant. You also hope that just him coming back is another example to guys of how much he's enjoyed his Clemson experience. What I'm sometimes don't think gets mentioned enough is Jerron graduated this summer. And so it's even more unique that a guy who's finished his college degree and had the kind of season that he did decided to come back. He's not just coming back to finish his degree. He thoroughly enjoyed his Clemson experience, loves being here. I think really wanted to play in the new Little John, and certainly wants to take a team to the NCAA tournament.
Do you feel like his decision to return has inspired his teammates to work that much harder during the offseason?
You know what? I don't think a lot of our guys needed a lot of extra inspiration, but I do think it's given our guys confidence. It's given our guys, an added piece that we know that we have a guy that has played as well as anybody in this league, and hopefully that motivates you to continue to work. I think our other seniors, Avery Holmes and Sidi Jate, have worked extremely hard and are highly motivated guys as well. And I think it's really a combination of all of them, not just Jerron. I think it's a good senior class with senior leaders. Avery and Sidi, as well as Jerron, are some of our most competitive players, physically tough players. And I think, in some seasons we've had some guys that are good players, but maybe not vocal leaders in our senior class. A little bit last year was that way. Jordan Roper was a good player, maybe not quite as vocal. Landry Noko kind of the same. And so, I think just having more vocal senior leaders could help a little bit to go along with the kind of talent that we have with some of the transfers that we're sitting out.
Do you think there'll be maybe more of a target on the back of you guys this year? And so how do you handle it?
I think the media, especially our local media, has probably made a little too much out of the fact that we obviously have a talented group coming back. That's great, but I think what we all forget outside of this is ACC basketball, and there's 12 teams that are talking like this right now. It's not 3 or 4. This is ACC level basketball. And if you go to media day, and about 12 of the schools out of the 15, there's 12 of the 15 that think they're going to the tournament, maybe 14 or 15 that think they're going to the tournament right now, and their fan bases, their media. I think it just speaks to the quality of this league. I mean, if you look at a lot of the magazine predictions, there's talk of 10, 11 teams of the ACC being taken into the tournament. So I think that the talent level is as deep as it's probably ever been in this league. And so because of that, the challenge to be successful will be very demanding. But I certainly love our team. I like our experience. I like our talent base. And I think we're, certainly one of those 12 teams in our league that thinks that they have a chance to do something special this year.
Do you find yourself more relieved going into this season because of all the guys you have back in place, or do you find yourself more pressing because of the expectations?
No, you know what? We're not worried about the expectations on the outside and all the things that go with that. We can't control those things. We obviously control our attitude, our energy, our effort, our focus, and that's what we're going to work on every day. And we're going to know the fact that we have talented guys, and that we feel good about our team, and that we have some guys that have won, a lot of games. I think sometimes people have forgotten that, in the last 3 years in this league, we're like 8th in terms of conference wins. Like, we're right there. It's not like just because we haven't made the NCAA tournament, we're all disappointed with that. But like when you look at ACC play over the last 3 years especially, we've been a pretty good team. And, I think we have a lot more respect within our league than sometimes we're given credit for, even from our local media. And, and the stats bear that out. So we got to take the next step. We got to jump the hurdle to get into the tournament for sure. But we don't need to worry about all those things. We have a proven group of guys, and we just need to handle our business.
What about not just the outside expectations, internal? Because those guys want.
Yeah, there's no question there's internal from the standpoint. And I think that's something we have to talk about as coaches. I think that's a really good point. That internally you want something so badly that you can get in your own way, I think that's something if I were looking at our football team, I wondered the same thing. Like, those guys want to win a national championship, and they can't win a national championship until they get a chance to get there. And that's hard. Like, that's, when you are the hunted like they are every week, and you're getting everybody's best shot, it's hard to stay focused and play perfect. And, we're dealing with 18 to 21-year-old guys that have a lot of things going on that aren't just college football or college basketball. And they want something so badly, whether it's an NCAA tournament bid or the NCAA football national championship. you can't control all those things, and you can't even get yourself into that position until much later. And so working at really hard and being focused every day to get there, it's tough. But that's something that we certainly have to pay attention to without question, and talk to our guys about, and have already started talking to them about those things that, all we can do is try to be 1-0 today, and then 1-0 after Georgia. And then we go from there. And, obviously we've talked about that a lot here this fall.
Brad, you talk about, that all being said, with this new building,